All right, let's do it. Hey, what's up,
All
guys?
right.
My bad. Hey, what's damn it. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Morgan and Angie from The Shift, people pleasing to living and loving fully. Today, we are going to be talking about what is people pleasing costing you? So, what we're talking about in this is that when you're spending all this time and money and energy trying to please everyone else, what all is it really costing you? And here's the thing, people usually notice that it's often costing them a lot more than they would think that it would. And here's why: we're usually not just people pleasing one person or one thing, it's usually a lot. So here's a list of some examples of all the people and things that we're trying to please in order to feel a certain way about ourselves. There's our spouse or our partner, there's our children, there's our parents, which is a huge one for a lot of people, our friends, then there's our siblings, there's our God or our religion, our authority figures like your boss or maybe your teachers, and so much more. These are just a few examples. And when you start to break down each of those and all the ways that you're people pleasing, the cost really starts to add up. For example, I'm still a new mom, and I only have one son right now, and he's 20 months old. And I'm seeing like how easy it is to just want to give him what he wants all the time. And it's completely exhausting when I try to live that way because it's so hard. Not only is it not super helpful to him because then he thinks he can get his way all the time, but it's super draining to me, and I lose sleep over it. I lose relaxation. I lose my sanity. And it's so easy, even with just one child, to feel completely drained when you're trying to give that kid everything that they want. So I know that's an example in my own life. Angie, do you have an example for us of a cost of people pleasing?
A cost. Oh my gosh. There's a lot. Um, I think back when I was younger, more like your age, and just how much I was always betraying myself. So I think of people pleasing as giving my power away to somebody or something, a cause or whatever. And I gave my power away to my first husband. I sold myself short. Like, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't trust my own decisions or, my own thoughts. And so I borrowed a lot of them from him. And that was a form of people pleasing. Oh my gosh. The cost was tremendous. And I don't know, we don't have time to really go into too much here, but it cost me my daughter. I mean, can you have a much more expensive cost? And when I say that, this is a very vulnerable thing for me because it was a shameful thing, and I've talked about it enough now. But because I was in such a place that I didn't believe that I was worth being a mom, like I thought that I was the one wanting out of the marriage, so I gave him custody of her. And yeah, the cost has been tremendous. Like, there's nothing bigger. So I mean, that just came to me. I didn't know what I was going to say, and I know what I just said was probably a big bombshell for some. So I don't want to skip over that. I'm not skipping over it to minimize it or anything like that. I don't minimize it at all. I know that we have a certain amount of time today, and I'm sure as I get to know you, I'll be sharing more about that. But do you want to comment on that, Morgan? Anything I just said?
Yeah, I love that you're sharing so vulnerably about that, because that's what you and I are very passionate about, is helping people to see that uh, at times in our lives, things happen, and we don't always understand it, and we can beat ourselves up about it, we can hide it, or we can put it out there and say this is what happened, and we can love ourselves anyway. And that's totally what you and I love about what we're doing for people. So thank you for
Right.
sharing with that. And And
Welcome.
you are not alone, I know, in the way that you feel, because so much of our problematic decisions come from a place of shame, of feeling like we're
Right.
not worthy
Mhm.
of certain things in our life. And so it totally makes sense the way things played out. And how wonderful is it that now you're in a place where you are feeling a lot more loving of yourself and able to help inspire others to do the same. I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
One more example I wanted to give is how we people please our religion or our God sometimes. Sometimes we think we have to be a certain way in order for God to be loving and accepting of us. And I know for me, I grew up in the Mormon religion, and this was very rampant in the culture. Like, you have to follow these little rules, or else, like, the idea was that God would be upset with you. And
Right.
I don't really subscribe to that belief anymore, because now I choose to believe that God loves no matter what, because we're all just a product of our experiences and our circumstances, and no one knows that better than God, right?
Right.
So my cost in that regard was that I felt like I couldn't be myself because I had to be a certain way in order to
Mhm.
be God, to make God happy. And when you have to be a certain way in order to make God happy, you're not being yourself. And that's about the worst cost that people pleasing brings to us, is that we can never truly be ourselves. So we can never really feel free and happy. So this is just, a list of some of the costs that come from the need to people please. And if you're feeling the weight of those costs, don't feel bad. Just look at it and just know that it's there, and know that so many of us are dealing with this, and you don't have to be alone. And consider subscribing to our channel, because we're going to be talking about the ways that you can alleviate these costs. Because if you can look at all the costs of not people pleasing, then you can imagine all the benefits of not people pleasing are the exact opposite of what you're missing out on. And we're here to help you navigate how to move forward and stop that people pleasing, because it's not easy. It's not easy to do on your own, but it's totally possible. Me and Angie have done it and are continuing to do it, and we are here to help you guys.
I think ultimately the biggest cost of people pleasing is that we lose relationships. And relationships are everything to satisfaction and contentment in life. And if we don't have those relationships, if we don't allow ourselves to open our heart enough to trust other people, let them in, and really have solid relationships, life is going to feel somewhat empty and very lonely. So there's a huge cost.
Yes, I totally agree. Well, Happy New Year to everyone. It is 2020, and we highly recommend that your New Year's resolution for this amazing year is to stop people pleasing. And if you would like to stop people pleasing, please subscribe to our channel, comment down below any thoughts of yours regarding people pleasing. And if you're interested in learning more from us, reach out to us. Our emails are in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We will see you guys next time. This has been Morgan and Angie with The Shift, from people pleasing to living and loving fully. Bye.